Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Files Obscura podcast. As always, we have our regular crew. We have Vlad today.
Hey there.
And we have Cece.
Hi.
How are we guys doing today?
I'm doing good. It's extremely late for me here.
Yeah, we are recording a little later than usual today.
And it's very humid outside.
Yes, it is.
It's been so muggy here as well. It's been hot, at least compared to what we're used to. You guys probably are roasting far more than I am.
Oh yeah, no. We here in Houston, it is called Bayou City for a reason. It is hot as hot can be, and it's really the humidity that gets you.
Yeah, we're steaming right now.
Oh yeah, you know what makes it worse?
What?
That where I live right now, the tree trimmer people, they came in and they just pretty much stripped the tree of all of its branches. So all my shade,
water just.
It's not even that. All my shade is gone.
I do not envy you.
I sit outside on the patio a lot, because we have a little yellow table and chair set that I like sitting out. I'll eat my lunch there and all that. And then I had a nice shade. I had privacy, and now that's all gone. And I'm like, it's hot. I don't want to be out here anymore.
I use one of my balconies because they're shaded, so I just use one of them. It's like, yeah, good enough for me.
Right? Like, the shade's nice.
Yeah, it really is.
But yeah, it's been a day. We are recording this, on Tuesday. Our Bennington Triangle episode just came out. We are trying to get this out ahead of time because I am leaving tomorrow.
That's fun.
Yeah, I get to go out to Illinois for a week. I got to go see my nephew for his second birthday. I mostly just need, a vacation from everything that's been going on, in my personal life. So
it's deserved.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Very much.
And I say vacation, yet I'm still going to be working whenever I'm out there on this.
That's cool though. It's good to be working on stuff. Even you're still on vacation.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm going to be enjoying myself. Because really we're only recording Friday, and then in my free time anyways, I look into, some of the other things that we talk about. But yeah, it's going to be a nice departure from everything that's been going on in Houston. I've been meaning to go back out to the country for a little bit anyways. So,
All right.
It is what it is. But, we have an episode today, and once again, it is going to be your topic, Vlad. You had a subject ready for us?
That's right. So I've been working on the subject for a bit, and I'll be honest, it's a little daunting. We're going to be talking about haunted dolls. And I would like to preface this discussion with just, I want to ask for Robert's permission.
Okay.
Because we will talk about him.
Oh, yeah? We're talking about Robert?
Yeah, and
okay.
I just want to ask for Robert's permission for us to talk about him.
All right. Yeah. We'll communally ask Robert.
Yes.
We'll all ask him because I ain't getting haunted today.
I'll be honest. Being the skeptic, I do think it's ludicrous, but at the same time, you don't always know.
Exactly. Remain safe.
I'm on the very skeptic side on this. Researching this stuff has kind of ruined haunted dolls for me, and and I'll be honest, I'm okay with it because I've always kind of felt like haunted dolls were a little more on the cool side of things because they are cool. They look cool.
Yeah, it's an interesting niche topic.
If I could, I'd own a couple, but I don't think I'll be able to anytime soon because they're actually quite expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I got a couple Facebook accounts that I've seen posting about it that I've been talking to that we'll get into later about it.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know how my girlfriend would feel about me owning a haunted doll.
No.
She would not.
No.
She would not be okay with that.
So
yeah.
But yeah, this is, like I said, this is your episode. So.
Yep. And so here's the thing: doing a 2 truths and a lie for a haunted doll story is kind of hard, but I found one that's recent enough to where there's a good amount of truth behind it and a good amount of stuff that I think is very commonly known. Well, okay, so False Obscura, we usually try to cover topics that are a little bit on the obscure side of things.
Yeah, like
it's
got to be at least dark enough or an obscure enough topic or something that really gets you talking. That's kind of the loose caveats we set up when we set up the podcast. So anytime we bring something up, we discuss it. So
yeah. So what makes this episode a little different is the fact that this is not an obscure topic. It is a fascinating topic, and it is strange and creepy, which we have done before.
Yeah.
But it's not obscure, and I feel like most people will know these stories. And haunted dolls are kind of a big essential part of just just the community of people who are into this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anybody who likes a good horror movie knows about a good haunted doll, or has seen a haunted doll movie. There's so many of them. I mean, they make so much money, so everybody knows about these. And
Yeah.
they were actually trending on YouTube. Oh, they still are. People
Oh,
talk
yeah,
about
all the
this.
time.
Oh, I binge watch so many haunted doll videos. I love them.
And it kind of hurt my brain because I looked on YouTube and I'm like, all right, let's see how many haunted doll videos I can find. All of them are top 10 lists. There's
Oh,
so
yeah.
many. It's just a massive row of thumbnails with a haunted doll, a circle, and an arrow pointing to it.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, 9 times out of 10, also, it's the same copy and pasted information from uploader to uploader.
Yeah.
Or it's just a binge of videos that have like less than 100 views on YouTube, which is great.
Yeah.
But then it also makes it so difficult to find out more information about it.
Yeah, and so many of these haunted doll videos, you can tell are fake. The
Yeah.
editing isn't even that good. And that's the thing that makes this a little tricky. This is very much subject, unlike our Hopkinsville video with the goblins. There really isn't a lot of recorded evidence or recorded cases. Nobody goes around being like, "Hey, I saw a haunted doll," because most of the time people will be like, "That's BS."
Yeah, pretty much.
And even with videos, like, it's so easy to make a fake haunted doll video. And like I said, I really want this to be a discussion because it's so fascinating. Because even when they're a hoax, I still think it's interesting.
Yeah, and because I also remember whenever, a few weeks ago, whenever you brought this up that you wanted to do haunted dolls, I told you I was hesitant at first because I was like, I'm not against you doing it, but we got to come at it from a new angle and all that.
Yeah.
Which is why, I did some of my own research into talking to people and their personal experiences, and I really dug deep into the recesses of my memories and pulled out some things that I remember in my past. Dealing with some friends and an ex of mine who was like really into, creepy and old decrepit dolls, and so there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of different ways to come at this topic, and keep it original.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's why we're also going into it. But it's going to be unavoidable to talk about some of the more well-known ones sometimes.
Absolutely.
So,
and that being said, I'm only doing 2 truths and a lie for one particular case because it's my favorite.
All right.
And this one is, and like I said, everybody probably knows it, and I'm not expecting to fool anybody.
Okay.
But the Island of Dolls, La Isla de las Muñecas.
I could not even try to say that.
Yeah.
Not right now.
But yeah, we will. I'm going to actually start this off. So I got 3 truths and or lies. So let's start with the first one. All right. So legend says Don Santana had seen a young girl drown in the canal of the island, which is why he hangs dolls around and honors her spirit. So this little girl was found dead in a pond. Everybody knows the story. She drowned. And that's why he hangs dolls around everywhere. Okay. The second one. The island was made by the Aztecs many years ago. They were man-made canals. Pretty cool. I would love to see one of these places in person, but that's the second one. And the third one, the dolls, they move places. Apparently, they go around. You can find them on the floor. They're consistently misplaced. Nobody knows. Some of them, you can't tell if they're in the same place all the time. So it's the dolls move. All right. So, what do you guys think?
I know way too much about the Island of the Dolls because I was obsessed with it for a good year or so. So I'm going to say the second one is probably a lie.
Okay.
Well, see, here's the thing: is I've also done quite a bit of research into it myself, but that was also years ago. My memory's not the best, but I also know that when you look at truth versus legend, there's a lot of discrepancies that you'll find in the actual history behind this. So it kind of muddies the water for me a little bit. I'm going to be honest. I didn't think I'd actually be a little clueless. But part of me wants to say the second one, and part of me doesn't, because I do know, the Aztecs and Mayans, they did build, a lot of man-made islands and gardens. That's how they would farm on these rivers and lakes. The very, very famous city that they have, what was it, Teotihuacan or whatever it's called? That whole thing is built on a marsh. All those pyramids built on a marsh, out in the middle of nowhere. So I don't see it as impossible that he found one of these, and used it. It would actually make a lot of sense why it's out in the middle of nowhere. But I would have to say, yeah, I'm going to go with the second one.
All right, the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, let's see. This, man, I feel like, by the way, I'm so nervous about this because of the fact that, yes, a lot of it is legend.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and say.
But that's what makes it interesting to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to say I'm really sorry if I get anything wrong, because this is very much a topic with so much speculation behind it. So let's go ahead and just start talking about dolls.
Yeah, let's go ahead, man.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
And once again, I'm sorry. so the whole story with this, all right, I'm gonna get, everybody knows the first one is absolutely true. Don Juan Santana Barrera, he's a native of Xochimilco borough in Mexico City, known for its Aztec floating man-made islands. So there we go. Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. The man-made islands they are really cool. Very unique. Interesting that it's Aztec. Everybody knows the history, the Aztecs with the Spanish and the flu, and so you can make a lot of speculation. Ooh, is there a connection?
Yeah.
Creepy supernatural stuff. It could also just be a coincidence. But anyways, man-made floating islands. So this dude got very obsessed, and he goes here. He sees a girl die, and for some reason he's super obsessed with this. By the way, Don Juan was very religious.
Okay.
It was very important. He was super religious, super into it. So he got very devoted to honoring this girl. And we all know he starts putting up dolls. He starts hanging them up everywhere. And over time, there's more and more dolls that he does this to honor her. This guy was very superstitious. He consistently, I don't know, it's very hard, like I said, it's very hard to talk about this because we know he existed.
Yes.
We know this man was absolutely 100% real. All this happened it all started in the 1950s. And he really didn't die until 2001, which is, like I said, very recent.
Yeah, well, it's a lot later than, a lot of legends would tell you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the legends would tell you, throughout time, as time went on, the ghost of the little girl would come and haunt him more and more, and then eventually he would be drowned in the same spot that he found her. Whether he committed suicide or he was drowned by the spirits, was up for debate apparently. So it really is when you look at the nitty gritty details, a lot of it doesn't make sense. You know.
I don't think it'll ever make sense, to be fair. I don't think we'll ever quite know exactly what happened.
I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. And by the way, this guy was also, I wouldn't say he was super popular in his community. People did think he was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would go around, he'd be preaching and talking about his superstitions and everything. And he would also drink. And he would be expelled from places just because they were like, man, this guy's crazy. This guy's talking about dolls. This guy's preaching the Bible. And okay, like I said, we don't know how far this guy went. But it was definitely enough for people to kind of kick him out of places. So, like I said, this guy was alone on this island. He starts hanging up dolls, and for 50 years he was doing this until 2001 when he passed away. His body was discovered in the canal, in supposedly, according to legend, same spot where the girl died.
Yeah.
And to this day, now I didn't know about this until you told me. There are 2 islands.
Yes.
There's one.
Two?
Yes, there's 2.
Yep. And there's one for the tourists that people can just go to. If you're in Mexico City, go down the canal. They'll be like, "Hey, check it out, the Island of Dolls."
Yeah, you'll have a lot of people who try to offer you to taxi them on their boats to go take you, and they all will take you to this one spot that supposedly is the real island, but it was made after the legend really took off, and it was actually made by the dude's nephew.
Yes.
How?
So his family kind of runs a little business here. Taking people, and they do charge.
Yes, they do charge.
Of course.
But they do take people over to the island and check it out. It's so cool. But there is a real island. This place does exist.
I've seen photos of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the real island. The reason why they made the tourist one is because they wanted to preserve the actual one. That's why, unless you're part of the family or were physically taken there, nobody knows where it's actually at.
Yeah,
That makes
and,
sense. That makes sense. If you don't want people stealing the dolls and stuff.
Exactly. That was one of the biggest things that they were afraid of.
yeah. And I just want to go ahead and tell everybody, through all my research, I don't think I've seen anything where anybody talks about the dolls moving. They usually stay in place. Well, I think they do move. No.
They move with the wind.
They move with the wind,
Obviously.
but they're never found like, oh, they switched places or oh, they're on the floor. So like I said, is this place haunted?
Maybe.
Maybe, but
I mean, it's certainly possessed by spiders.
it's yes, spiders. There's so many spiders. This place is infested. The creepiest thing about this island is not the dolls; it is literally the spiders. Because I don't know why. This is it's honestly terrifying. I hate spiders. Like I man.
Well, me personally, I'm not an arachnophobe. I mean, I can get grossed out by the number of insects around me, but an insect itself doesn't bother me. Yeah. Like if they're in my house, I don't kill them. I'll grab a newspaper, pick them up, and toss them outside or whatever.
I have a daddy long legs above my door currently, and I'm not touching the twat. He can stay up there all he wants as long as it doesn't fall on my head.
But so here's the thing: spiders are not creepy to me until they're close to me. I will not I could look at a picture of a spider any day and be like, oh, cool, that's a spider.
I can sympathize with that. Not with spiders, but I get that feeling where it's like it's whatever until you're too close. And it's like I don't like risking. I'm that way with certain like small rodents. Not like rats, more like porcupines.
As weird as it sounds, I don't actually like house spiders and stuff. I hate. Like, you get an average house spiders. You've got the dead long legs currently above my bedroom door. I'm not a fan of him. He can stay there, though. But I love tarantulas. I want a pet tarantula kind of person. I am weird in that aspect.
I think that the smaller the spiders, the worse they are.
Yes, definitely.
Because, I don't think tarantulas are that creepy. But they get to a certain size where it's like, ooh, that thing's going to crawl on my skin, you know? Or also whenever you squish one and, like, dozens of them come out, I hate that.
Not had that yet.
That is very unsettling.
It's definitely fascinating to watch on YouTube. Is the idea of happening in front of me is horrifying.
So the other day, I'm going to say a week or so ago, I woke up, pulled back the cover, sat up, and there was a dead spider underneath me. I'd obviously squished in my sleep at some point. It's just a no. No, thank you.
No. So I would say that is the real horror of the Island of the Dolls.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, this doll island, I think it's really cool. I think it's also, it's pretty creepy. Mostly due to the spiders. But if you actually look at footage or photos of the Island of Dolls, it looks creepy. It looks unsettling. I also kind of get the vibe that a lot of these dolls they're just cool. They're there. They're hanging. So I don't think there's a lot of there's not stories of people disappearing from the Island of the Dolls. This isn't like the Japanese Suicide Forest where there's a lot of actual legitimately creepy stuff going on. I feel like most of the horror from this island comes from the legend, the man associated with it, and the spiders. And the dolls look pretty creepy. It's visually very unsettling. But I think, in my personal opinion, this is more of a tourist attraction. And people can disagree with me. Maybe there is something going on. But this is very touristy. And this is a theme you will see with a lot of haunted doll cases, is they make fantastic tourist attractions. They are so cool to look at. And whenever, okay, so when we get to it, Robert the Doll is currently sitting inside a museum.
Yeah. It was Florida's Naval Museum or something like that.
Yes. So, like I said, I think they make great tourist attractions, and people are very interested. And that's why we have two islands. Because the real one is awesome. And that should be preserved. There is a story behind it. But people also just want to see an island with creepy dolls on it.
Yeah.
People love creepy. I can't blame them.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a fascinating story, We're obsessed with dark topics. We're obsessed with the unknown and the possibility of what if. It's kind of hardwired into us being human. Yeah, I mean, reasonably, we get scared over things, but at the same time, it makes your mind wonder.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm going to talk about this more, but it does kind of make you wonder how much of it is legend and how much of it is real. Because this being something that happened recently.
Well, I mean, again, for me, ultimately, the real power of haunted dolls isn't in the legends behind it, but the legends themselves.
Yeah.
The attraction that people have towards these stories, whether true or not, or whether inflated or being modest. It is captivating nonetheless.
Yeah, and I do love the fact that we still have these stories to tell, whether true or not. You're right, but the fact that there are still campfire stories to be told.
Yeah,
there's still like things that people can go around and talk about, and there's something great about having a good story that you can share with someone.
Everyone loves a ghost story.
No, yeah, of course.
The mystery is honestly part of the fun. But yeah, I'm coming from a very skeptic angle, and who knows? I really don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how real this is. I don't know how much of it is legend, how much of it is true, and I think that's part of the appeal. But our next story, and I'm pretty sure everybody's heard about this. Robert the Doll. All right, now Robert the Doll. This guy comes from. All right, he's from Key West, Florida. Well, yeah. So Robert Eugene Otto is from Key West, Florida. And funny enough, I found two different origins from where the doll came from.
Really?
Yep. Some people say he comes from his grandpa. Some people say he comes from a maid, a servant.
I've heard the maid one, yeah.
Yeah, but I actually heard somebody say it came from the grandpa, so I thought that was fascinating. I'm kind of leaning towards the maid one because that's more common. But the maid story also kind of sounds like something that like would make for a good story, like
yeah.
It makes the whole thing a little more flashy if it comes from a voodoo maid. But anyways, let's start off. So this all happens in the early 19,000s. We don't really have a specific date for when the doll came into this boy's life, but Robert Eugene Otto got his very unique handmade doll from a servant who worked for the parents, and she apparently, according to legend, practiced a lot of voodoo, a lot of mysterious black magic,
Yeah.
All
and
the
that's
fun
why,
stuff.
Yeah, all that fun stuff. Probably because she was very unsatisfied with family. Wouldn't blame her. They lived in a nice house and everything, so who knows? Definitely nice enough to afford a maid. But anyways, he got this doll, and he got very much attracted to it, immediately. But anyways, let's see what else. Oh, there's some details about the doll, the house that he lived in between 1890. Well, it was built between the 1890s and 1898. So I guess it's relatively new. I don't know if the house itself was haunted, because all the evidence I seem to find seems to just point towards it being the doll. The doll was haunted.
Yeah, it never ever. When I've been looking through the story, it was never the house was haunted. It's just specifically, oh look, the doll is creepy and haunted.
Yeah.
Because from a lot of the stories that I've heard, and I'm a big fan of Dan Cummins, his podcast Time Suck, which I believe also did an episode on Robert the Doll, and he goes really into detail into his research and evidence and all that. And through all that I can remember from that episode off the top of my head, most of the action, if not all of it, was only ever recorded where the doll specifically was.
Yeah.
So like whenever they hid it up in the attic, to keep it away, to be out of sight, they would hear things in the, like footsteps or something coming from the attic, or they would only hear noises, I believe, coming from the attic. So
yeah. Oh, and so I'm going to start off with okay. So the whole thing with the doll is that apparently, despite him being very much attracted to the doll and he ride with him everywhere he went, till his death, there's stories that the doll would go around wrecking stuff, and the kid would fight the doll, and the doll would be found under like the kid would like be choking it or something.
Yeah.
And like furniture would be tossed over, right? And every time his parents confront him about it, it was like the doll did it, the doll did the thing, which kind of
obviously, being a parent, you don't think that's true.
Yeah.
A child was being a child, you'd think, obviously.
Yeah, he was messing around. And like I said, it's also kind of weird that he still brought this doll everywhere. It's like, yeah, the doll ruins my life and the doll attacked me, but I'm gonna bring it with me.
I still love the doll anyway, even if it is trying to murder me.
Right? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't quite add up.
Yes. But I will say the doll is very creepy looking. If you ever saw a picture of
it,
yes, I have.
Definitely the creepiest looking doll I've
That
ever seen.
dirty, pitted face that it has, the
Yeah.
little tiny sailor outfit.
It
It
gives
was
me like
very.
Slappy from Goosebumps kind of vibes.
Yeah, no, that's oh yeah. If you want to see something creepy, like the next one we're gonna talk about looks a lot more like Slappy.
Ooh.
Uh, yeah, even worse, I would say. But yeah, no, this doll looks creepy. I don't get why he brought him around everywhere, and he was a troublemaker from what we gathered.
Yeah.
Named like by the way, both of them named Robert. You know, cool. I don't know. I don't know how many kids actually name their dolls after themselves. But it was apparently based off of his image, like handmade to
Yeah.
look like the kid. And if the legend about it being a voodoo doll or voodoo related is true, then I don't know. Look, I didn't really do a lot of research into voodoo dolls because that's a whole different thing. Voodoo dolls are not necessarily haunted dolls.
No, but there is
Magic
some.
still, technically.
Yeah, there's it's still under the same umbrella because the main focus is dolls, you know. But yeah, you're right. Voodoo dolls is different because it is on a sense of magic, manipulation and control and influence in someone's life. Whereas when we typically think of haunted dolls, we think of dolls that are possessed by something,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, and also according to legend, but yeah, the doll would like talk back to Robert, and it would be in a different voice, and he'd giggle, and he'd do the average creepy doll thing, and move around and talking and whatever. And yeah, apparently there was just sightings of the doll like running up the steps and looking out the window and all sorts of stuff. So if true,
Yes, if I
if
remember
true.
correctly, it was that neighbours would see the doll staring at them through the windows if they looked at the house.
Yeah, yeah, which is it's pretty creepy.
Yeah, imagine
Um,
turning around and seeing a dog giving you the evil eye. I would probably walk away.
Yeah, people say that if you look at the doll's eyes, you can almost like sense the evilness coming out of it. So I'm gonna guess demons. Yeah, it's probably a demon.
Probably
Uh,
demon.
yeah, probably.
Something like that, again, legends about it, from coming from the maid, we're talking about that she would practice voodoo. So
Yeah,
in a sense, it might be related to voodoo dolls. I don't know. It might be possessed by a spirit that was called upon. Because I remember, I think you were talking about how she had some sort of spiteful intentions towards the family. That's why she gave Robert, the doll originally.
yeah. But Robert did grow up to be an artist, and eventually, whenever his parents died, he moved back into that old house with his wife Anne, and they just went back into the house. But by the way, his wife, I don't think really liked the doll that much.
No, she did not. Not at all.
No. She did think it was creepy. I think everybody thought it was creepy, but for some reason, Robert kept hanging on to the doll till the day he died. They gave him a room of his own. The doll had a room of its own.
That feels like obsession.
It was obsession.
Yeah.
It very much was.
Yeah, and he placed them on the window, and he would look. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. He would look at the street, and kids would see him, and yeah. But yeah, this creepy doll has a room of its own, like he's a dog or a person or something. Some people give their dogs a room of their own. I get that. That makes sense to me. But anyways, yeah, no, he just kept it. But by the way, this guy was a talented artist.
Okay.
Really cool, talented artist. Just want to bring that up. And people did like his art, so he was somewhat popular in the area. But yeah, more of the same stuff happened. A lot of giggling and talking, and honestly, like from the sound of it, it just stayed with him. Eventually, when he does die, and it doesn't seem to be related to the doll whatsoever. I think he just died of natural causes, right? Yeah, no, he did. Well, so he dies in 1974, and somebody else eventually moves into the house, and the doll's still in the attic. And a little girl takes it. A little 10-year-old girl takes the doll, and she would claim that the doll was alive. So,
okay, so this part I've never actually heard before.
That's right. This actually happens afterwards, and the doll wanted to hurt the girl. One day, she wakes up in the middle of the night, tells her parents Robert had been moving around the room. I believe this doll is attracted to like to children, like usual these dolls. Like I read a thing about this once that they like the appearance of a child, or they like to look like a child.
Yeah.
So who knows if it has any? I don't know. Like I said, all of this is speculation. All of this is like weird stories about legends and spooks. So we don't know how much of it is true. But yeah, no, this girl had the doll and it was creepy, and then that's where the story ends. I haven't been able to find much more about it, but we know it eventually ends up in a museum.
I think that family would just wind up donating it.
Probably, and somebody eventually gets their hands on it. Like it's still in Florida. It's still in West.
Yeah. It hasn't moved out of its display case since it's been put in there. Yeah, and you'll find all kinds of stories and people taking pictures about people who disrespect Robert. They'll go and they'll suffer some horrific motor accident and die moments later or days later.
Yeah, all those sort of stories of if you don't ask Robert before you take a picture, he will harm you in some way.
Yeah, and there are all kinds of people who will like leave candies and stuff for him, to try to appease him or whatever. Yeah. So there's a lot of local lore about Robert the doll and stuff to keep in mind if you truly do believe it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah, so. I actually saw a video of a tour where they show you how the doll, the whole thing. Basically the tour guide will pretty much lead you towards the doll, and they tell you the story, and they tell you what it is, and they will always tell you like, okay, before you take a picture, you gotta ask for permission.
Yeah. Make sure you go through the whole process.
Yes. And the whole thing is very, very touristy. It feels very touristy, and I totally get it. I would probably want to go see the doll too. But that's the thing with a lot of these, whether it's Annabelle or Robert or the Island of the Dolls. Everybody really just it's a great tourist destination. It's really cool to see a doll, and it's very flashy. And like I said, whether or not the doll is haunted, I would want to capitalize on it too.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a sense of danger,
Yeah.
And the question is like, oh, how could this dog actually hurt me,
Yeah, and a lot of people do. They kind of get the vibe from it. They kind of get the creepiness. I mean, like I said, even if it's not haunted, it's just the looks alone and the story, and it amps you up.
I mean, it is why a lot of people are scared of dolls, because they fall right into the uncanny valley where they're not quite human, but they're not quite right either.
Yeah. And that alone, I mean, if somebody tells you that something can kill you, you're gonna stay away from it, right? Like
in theory.
In theory, that's how it works. And I kind of get the same. It's like whenever you go to the store and you see something spicy and you're like, your mouth starts to water. I don't know if that's just me. I kind of feel like it's the same thing. It kind of like triggers something in your brain, and it's kind of like, ooh, that makes me uncomfortable. You think if a person had not heard the story and they went to see Robert Dahl, they would get that same sense of creepiness?
Possibly.
Well, to an extent, they probably would, just because of how creepy he looks.
Yeah, putting it in a case and everything else kind of helps. Oh, by the way, the doll itself has a smaller doll. I just wanted to add this.
Yes, I noticed. I remember that. He has like a smaller version of himself or something similar.
Do you guys know what animal that doll's supposed to be?
A dog?
No. It's not a dog.
Really?
Yep. What do you think it is, Cece?
I can't remember.
No, I genuinely want to know now. What is it?
It's a lion.
A lion? Supposed to be a
lion? That's right. It's supposed to be a lion.
Okay, 1 second. I'm going to have to look up Robert the Doll. You'll hear clicking in the background. I do apologise, but I'm going to look this up now.
Yeah. Once you look at it again, it's like, oh wait, that is a lion. I was thinking the same. I thought it was a dog,
I thought it was like a dog for the longest time,
or like a bear or something. And then I found out it's supposed to be a lion. I'm like, what?
Oh, how is that?
Yeah, that's new to me.
Yeah, let's see if I can.
Oh, his face! I forget how creepy he looks. Oh,
it's the whole thing that's around the head. God. I think it gives me the lion vibes. Look at this.
The lion just looks mildly concerned. I'm going to say that right now.
Yeah, it does. Those big black eyes. Its mouth is open.
It looks like it's suffering some form of existential crisis.
It really does.
I think he's rather terrified. I hope that lion isn't alive as well.
I hope not.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah. I also wouldn't want to know what happens if you separate the lion from Robert the doll.
Oh, you can actually get Robert the doll plush toys as well, apparently. That's the thing that exists. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's Robert the doll, creepy little guy. I don't know what his deal is, but I'm like I said, I'm kind of a little more. I'm leaning towards believing this a little more. I really am. I'm starting to think this one is a little more legit than the last one, but I'm still suspicious. I'm very suspicious about it. Now this third one, and simply because there is video footage about it, this third one kind of has me a little more convinced. And I only found out about this one more recently. So this here is Mr. Fritz, the ventriloquist doll.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But there's an image of the doll, I'm presuming, and it is horrifyingly disgusting.
Oh,
And
he looks kind of like a drunkard almost, with like the bright red cheeks and a bright red nose.
Yeah.
But figured.
he looks like a cannibal.
He didn't age well.
No,
His like I don't like how the eyelids look. It just makes me very. Oh no, I hate the mouth. The mouth is awful.
It's that bottom lip that's getting me. That's what made me say you look like a cannibal, man.
But
Yeah.
the teeth, I think the most off-putting part is the fact that his teeth are painted really badly.
Right?
Yeah, that is very unsettling. I hate the eyes. They look alive.
He stares into your soul.
Why does he have eyelashes? I also don't get that.
Yeah, he has no hair. He has like really thick eyebrows.
Yeah. And I would say out of all of them, this one's the worst. Just because he's a Nazi alone. I don't like
Oh
it.
shit.
Yeah, no, I don't like it.
So yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I have not heard about this story before.
Maybe I should have done the 2 truths and a lie about this one.
Should have.
I should have.
You should have
Anyways,
done.
I mean, you still won.
yeah,
So.
there's a video about it on YouTube, and that's how I feel most people know about it. But okay, so I'm gonna start off. The collector, his name is Michael Diamond, and he buys a lot of stuff. He buys a lot of antiquities. I think he has a YouTube channel. He has a bunch of these like creepy and haunted things. So this dude loves his stuff.
So he's a collector essentially.
This one apparently he didn't buy. This is actually a gift.
Really?
Yeah, somebody just gave it to him.
Wonder why.
Yeah, right? Makes you think.
Yeah. So this one was a ventriloquist doll from World War II. What's the name of the? Sorry, I'm looking through my notes. Okay. So the story behind this one. So this guy works for Nazis, German soldier, right? And for 18 months, he had Mr. Fritz. This little
He
ventriloquist.
is so creepy.
I look. I probably should have prefaced this podcast episode. I don't do well with dolls. I don't.
Yeah. But Billy Booth had this like little ventriloquist doll that he'd show around, and he'd do songs, entertain the soldiers, and in jokes and whatever, right? I don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. Little in jokes, and the German, like everybody just had a good time with Mr. Fitz. It doesn't have a. I don't know. I'm sure he looked better at some point. I'm sure he looked nicer.
Yeah, whenever he was fresh.
It's hard to imagine just because of how off-putting he currently looks.
Yes. I mean, obviously, it's what, 60, 70, 80 years old almost at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, that thing's aging badly.
He's falling apart. So I think that's what makes it extra off-putting is the fact he is falling apart.
Yeah, I think, okay, so I believe this guy, by the way, he was a prisoner of war. He was the U.S. guy. Billy. Billy was an American prisoner of war. He, like I said, I'm sure he didn't want to be here, but he was making the best of the situation.
Yeah.
Trying to entertain people. Eventually, though, they did. All right, so 14th of January, 1945, 2 weeks before he was liberated, they were taken to a field and made to dig up a large pit. But then they were shot for not working hard enough.
What?
Yeah, this dude was supposed to be set free, but they shot him. So it kind of has a bit of a tragic ending for Billy. I'm
at a loss for words.
Yeah, eventually.
I mean, yes, it's Nazis. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really known for keeping promises amongst 1,000 other things that we could list.
Eventually, the rest of the camp was liberated, though. And Mr. Fitz was taken back to the U.S. by a former prisoner and given to his family. So his family eventually got Mr. Fitz. as a reminder of their son's fortitude and ability to raise morale in the harshest conditions. Damn. Uh,
That hurts.
yeah, yeah, no, it's very sad. So this one, like I said, there's more story behind it. It's kind of just sad though. And it's very like I don't know. It's awful, but now I don't know why this doll is haunted, but it could have something to do with the tragic ending to Billy's life.
Yeah.
But anyways, this thing I'm guessing gets passed around eventually. Um, we don't actually know what happened after Billy's family had the doll. That's a bit of a mystery. The in between of this guy getting the doll and putting it in his collection, and Billy losing it when he dies. That's very muddy. But the most amazing thing about this is the video. Sadly, I don't think we can really show. I mean, we can't show it on the recording, but you can look it up.
Yeah, we'll save the link so that you guys can go ahead and check it out whenever you guys listen to this
I
episode.
mean, I can describe it. I mean, it's kind of we can say what's going on.
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. So the video you can find it on it's on a YouTube channel here, Dan Baines, and it just kind of explains the story. It belonged to like I said, Billy, World War II, prisoner of war, the whole thing we just talked about. Now the video itself, this dude apparently saw the door open.
Okay.
Before he took the footage, he was like, "Oh wow, why is the door opening? That's really odd. I don't remember doing that." So he sets up a camera to start filming what's going on. And the actual footage is very disturbing.
It's so off-putting.
Okay, so we're starting the video here. We got the audio pretty much off. It's Billy's. It's just the head.
Yeah.
And it's in a glass display case, and it says, "Note the amount of strange orb activity in the video."
Yeah.
And we've got one that's floating across, the camera screen right now. It's just kind of trickled down from the right side. It looks like a home video, like one of those home camera units.
Yeah, it's black and white, but
it's infrared.
It's infrared, yeah. But yeah, he's just sort of sitting there. Eventually, though, things get kind of unsettling.
Ugh.
Yeah, there we
go.
Yeah, the door opens.
Whoa, yeah.
Straight
The door just opened in front. That's holding Billy.
Yeah,
it looks like forced open. It looks like it was shoved.
Quite fake this. I'm sure there's a way, but it would be very elaborate.
Yeah. So the next night, the following night, he captured something terrifying. Yeah. So let's see what that is.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps all up and down my back.
Yeah,
it's so creepy.
Oof.
But yeah, no. Whenever you're watching the video, totally pay attention to the mouth and the eyes.
No, I don't want to.
Oh
God, it's just so upsetting.
It moves the eyes. The eyes.
No.
It's
No, I don't.
Aaron, are you okay?
Yeah, it's
like your spiders. They're good until they're close, and I'm watching it and it's close, and I don't like it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I noticed when I rewatched the video,
and then immediately after, the door kind of like swung open a bit harder. Ooh, oh God, the mouth is moving.
Yeah.
No, but if you guys notice, I don't know if you noticed this.
Yeah, like every skeptic part of me is like looking for strings, is looking for tricks, is looking for bad editing.
Look at that, the little string at the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
It's like it was.
It's a ventriloquist. Also, it must have. Like,
it's acting like it's still being the cord is still being pulled and the door is moving. No.
So I kind of noticed about the door that it goes back and forth.
Yes, it wobbles open,
which would be kind of hard to do with strings. You would have probably
because you can pull, but you can't quite push.
Yeah.
It does look like somebody just went, nope, goodbye, and shoved it open.
I don't want to take a closer... The video says, let's take a closer look, watch the eyes and mouth, and I really don't want to.
Oh, that music is nasty through the headphones.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, well, we're trying to keep the audio off for, copyright reasons and stuff. Ugh. No! Oh, God. This is my literal nightmares.
Yeah, I really think people should see this video.
I don't. Why would I want them to be horrified like this?
I don't think it's that bad, personally.
Oh,
I love it.
I
Yeah,
can't.
see? I think it's cool.
You guys are crazy. I'm sorry. No. God, I can talk about this stuff, but watching it.
You're just
no,
easily scared.
By the way, the first time we saw this, it definitely did terrify me. But I think it's amusing. It's awful. It's terrifying. It's the thing of nightmares. But it's so fun. It's just like,
Exactly.
wow. Like, it's so cool that it moves that much. Usually, like, ghosts are very shy about this kind of stuff. But this ghost, or spirit or demon or whatever, was just like, hey, let's put on a show.
But how would it know?
Like, yeah, no, I love this.
I'm sorry. It is. Oh God, I'm not going to sleep well on the train. I am not.
You successfully broken him.
I didn't think I thought this was going to be an easy episode. Why did you ruin me?
It's not that bad. I've seen worse
I'm
videos.
not crying, but I'm in tears. I don't know how else to explain that. Oh God, I don't. I didn't think that bothered me as bad as it did.
By the way, Mr. Fitz, Mr. Fitz, apparently, okay, so like I'm sort of looking at some stuff. Let me read you the thing about the original owner before the guy who shot the footage. The dealer, who wishes to remain anonymous, first started noticing something strange when he put Mr. Fritz on display in his showroom. He would lock up for the night and come back in the morning to discover that Mr. Fritz's display case door was wide open. And even after he firmly shut it, every night by the way, every night he would shut it, but every morning it would be open again. Then things started to get a little more uncanny. Mr. Fritz would sometimes have his eyes open when they were normally closed. His mouth would also change positions. The dealer had tried to think of obvious explanations, such as humidity, the breeze. Obviously, anybody like would try to rationalize this.
Yeah, like any sane person.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He even went to the point where he thought a mouse might have done it. A mouse might have nested in his head. But then
That would have been interesting to see a mouse pop out of his mouth.
That would have been an interesting explanation.
Yeah.
That would make me feel 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
But it's not the explanation, I'm afraid.
No.
But on closer inspection, he discovered it was neither of those things. The day after the door continued to day after day, the door continued to open and close and acting weird, and he finally taped it shut. He put some tape around it.
Okay.
Like, obviously, I'd be like, yeah,
We're gonna stop this right now.
Yeah. But the following day, he returned to find the tape peeled, and the door was open again.
No.
He finally removed Mr. Fritz from the showroom and placed him in the garden shed, where he stayed for another 6 months.
Why didn't you just bury him?
His children, by the way, the worst part, his children then reported hearing laughter from the shed.
No! No! No!
Yeah.
I can't.
But yeah, he had to go. He was like,
obviously, yes! Why would you let him stay there after capturing that footage? I'm sorry, I know I'm freaking out, but Jesus, no. Like, it's all kinds of wrong.
I would have seen the store personally.
Oh. But yeah,
well,
that's how eventually this guy got it. So this dude obviously went to get rid of it. He's like, okay, this dude has a bunch of creepy stuff. Let's just give it to him. He's probably not going to complain about it, right? So I love this guy, by the way, who like that's great. I mean, it's awful. I hate this doll. I love the doll. I hate it. I love it.
I hate it. It's simple. I hate it.
It's awful. It's probably possessed or something.
It's obviously possessed. What do you mean probably?
Okay, definitely possessed.
Oh God, I'm sorry. No, it's not just how horrible it looks, just the way it was moving. I can't. That is beyond Uncanny Valley. That is literal nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen that video several times. It does not faze me in the slightest.
Well, lucky you.
That's great.
Well, this is my kryptonite, and I'm good, and I wish not to talk about it anymore.
But these things are creepy. They're unsettling.
Oh,
Mr. Mr. Fritz, what what can I say about you? So our doll's haunted. Can you? I mean, usually they're not, but I do believe that the possibility of a doll getting possessed by some kind of demon is very possible. That would, of course, require me to believe that spirits and ghosts and demons can possess items. And that's a whole like you gotta cross a certain amount of look. Even then, even after all my skepticism, um, it's kind of hard to deny the fact that there's strange things happening.
it's one of those moments where you look at these tales, you try to rationalize it, and you can't find any answer, and you and your soul wants to say there's a rational answer for everything. There's an explanation here, but still,
Yeah,
there's still something about it that just doesn't have an answer. And me, I have difficulty with that. That's part of the reason I'm so fascinated by mysteries and stuff that are unexplainable.
yeah.
But at the same time, like this is just one of those things where it's just ugh, I don't get a good feeling from this. I really don't.
I really want to know this guy every single morning. He does his daily chores. He washes
Yeah.
the dishes. He I don't know. He takes a shower, brushes his teeth, closes the door on the haunted doll. Then goes home, then goes to work and back. I'm just like it takes a certain amount of just
It's an easy thing to do,
mental.
isn't it? Just like, oh hi, your door's open again. Okay, I'm going off to work now. Bye.
Yeah.
Ah, God no. No, no.
I hope the spirit stays in the doll. It's at least it decided to.
I just hope it stays away from me.
It feels
Yeah.
playful, honestly. I don't think it means any harm.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You
I'm
see,
sorry, I don't.
I love binging these sorts of videos. So, like, from what I can remember off the top of my head, I've seen a video where this girl was holding a Quintanilla, I think it's called. It's one of those 16th birthday dolls that they have in Mexico. And
Okay.
she's holding this doll and talking to her mum. And as she looks at this doll's head just snaps to the girl. She screams and drops
Yeah,
it
I
and
know
legs
like
it.
what video you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I love that video. I love
Yeah,
it.
it was another one that was like, nope, not in 1,000 years. Sorry, I'm good.
I've seen so many videos of people who have dolls that they don't touch, and the doll's heads have snapped to the person or to a different person.
Yeah, and I find because I do I'm actually in a lot of like haunted houses and haunted dolls or items kind of groups and stuff like that because I'm interested because you'll never find some of the more fascinating stories that are publicized. You got to really get into these kind of communities and hear what people talk about. I remember watching a live stream one time with this dude who has his Facebook page called Haunted and Demonic Dolls, or that's the group that I'm in, where one of the first lives I caught him doing, I don't remember the kind of digital technique that's used, but it's basically they try to use a body tracking program to see if you can find where like a spirit actually is.
Oh, like it connects.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Xbox Connect. They use those
Yeah.
to track skeletons.
And so he would, film these dolls, and sometimes these little caricature outlines would pop up, and they would start moving around and stuff, and they would respond to questions and stuff. That's how I first was like really engrossed in it, last year. And so I started talking around a bit more with some of these people, and I've got two cases that I pulled out that I think would be interesting to talk about. So I got pictures for us to look at. So this first one, is a little green doll, tiny, probably not it's probably not one of those big ones. I'd say 6 inches, like one of those really tiny ones.
I don't think it's stereotypically creepy.
No.
She doesn't look very old
very
either. From the looks of her, she's, I wouldn't say
Yeah,
too
it's like
late. I'd say about late 1980s at the earliest.
Yeah, it looks very vintage. It looks like it's meant to be in the Victorian era, but like I said, it's very new, very clean. So I'm going to go ahead and read this description for you because it was sold on eBay to one of these people in the group. So it says, "Don't let Vivian's sweet childlike face and classy green eyes or classy green dress, I don't know why I said eyes, confuse you. Vivian is considered a Class A spirit, meaning she is an extremely active spirit. She has been known to ring doorbells, inspire colorful orbs to float around her, and move objects around the home. If the hairs on your arms rise, Vivian's spirit might be touching you. I'm looking to send Vivian to a home that welcomes this vibrant activity. In general, Vivian has no evil intentions. She just wants to make her presence known. Which, first off, I don't care what you say, bullshit, because we've heard that story with Annabelle. And what do we, what's the common consensus? The thing was possessed by a demon.
Annabelle's an evil little thing. Evie, where did
Yeah,
come
exactly.
from?
Well, it started out, seeming innocent and playful. So I don't care what you say about this, and to welcome it into your home. There's more to it. Yeah. Let me keep reading more into this. Vivian has no evil intentions. She just wants to make her presence known. She will flicker the lights, slam doors, and when you jump, you will hear her laugh. I have to pick her up off the floor at least 3 times a week where she has fallen off the shelf. She likes to be outside and loves sunshine. Vivian's vessel is 8.5 inches tall, and she prefers to sit instead of stand. Sitting position, she is 6 inches tall. Vivian is wearing a locket attached to her dress, and she is very proud of it. Is Vivian speaking to you? Is she, if she is, you will know. I believe spirits choose where they want to be and who they want to be with. And that was the end of the description for Vivian's doll. And I'll upload pictures of the both of the dolls that we're talking about. But I'm sorry, no.
Honestly, she looks really cute. I think she's quite cute.
Can I just sort of add? I think it's really funny that they're trying to sell this doll the same way somebody would sell like a cat or a dog. It's like
right. It's not a pet. It's like it's not something you want. It's like it's crazy. It's like
Snuffles, like loves playtime. He loves to go outside and play golf, and he's just the sweetest thing. It's basically the same thing. It's like, here's Annabelle. She, she'll draw something for you. It's great.
To a certain extent, I can understand treating your dolls with some care and respect. I mean, obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I collect dolls personally, and I treat them with respect. I love my dolls. So I can get that to some extent, but treating them like a living animal is kind of off-putting.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's like, okay. And before we get into the next Facebook story, I had an ex-girlfriend of mine who was really into, these old porcelain and composite style dolls that are, when you think of doll, that's the first thing that comes to your mind. Mm-hmm. She was really into, the paranormal and stuff like that. And she would tell me stories about some of her dolls that she said would whisper to her sometimes. And she would see them or feel them in her dreams, and I am good. I don't need that level of invasion of privacy.
Throw those dolls out.
Right?
Like, give me a little bit of
or give them to me, I don't mind.
She loved them so much. She would collect so many of them. So it's like, why would you? Look, that's a gamble I'm not willing to take. I'm good.
Actually, Aaron, my mother has one of her old dolls.
I do not think that that's something bothering me.
What was that, Cece?
My mother has like an old fashion doll, insofar as the face is porcelain, the hands and feet are porcelain, but the rest is made of cloth. And I think she's currently in our art studio. But I will try and find her and send photos to you guys probably tomorrow when it's not nearly 1 a.m.
Oh, please.
Be more ideal.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, these things are interesting to look into. But I only glance at haunted dolls for the obvious reason they freak the hell out of me. Some people are afraid of snakes. Some people are afraid of spiders, rodents, whatever. For me, it's dolls, man. I can't do it. It's weird too, because I have a weird distinction between dolls and robots. And when psychologists talk about it, it's kind of thrown into the same camp, of Uncanny Valley. And,
it's like clowns.
Yeah, it's just, but I can do robots no problem. My mind can rationalize robotics. If something goes wrong, it's something in the software. It's not something I can't put a finger on. Yeah. It's not an explanation that evades me.
It's like that. Yeah, you're right. Like it just sort of makes sense. Just an explanation. Robots are real.
Yeah, and it's not to say that they can't be terrifying in their own right. Yeah. The advent of AI, the push for the singularity, and all that. Yes, they're very daunting and captivating ideas and topics to look into, but there's logic behind it. There's reasoning behind it. With haunted dolls, there's no explanation, and that's why it gets me so much. I like to talk about ghosts and strange happenings and poltergeists and unexplained events all the time. But I don't know what makes dolls so different for me. I don't. It's
No, I get that.
so
I mean, I think there's such a thing as creepy dolls. Let's look at Fitz. Or not.
it's not.
But it's also one. I don't know. Like you're right. There's okay. So with these three cases, I think as like the first one, it's like okay, it's kind of cool. Probably nothing though. Second one, it's like oh yeah, it's kind of creepy, but like maybe it's not. And then, but the third one, despite the fact that I don't feel like we have as much like not a lot of people are talking about it.
No, but that video is powerful.
But the video alone is very deeply unsettling, and that I feel that video is more convincing than any of the stories I heard on those last two.
Yeah.
So well, I'm glad he's over there, not here. You know,
right?
Yeah, distance, please.
So, but like I said, we have one more person who posted here that I picked out that is kind of interesting. So she sends a picture of a doll, and it looks like a baby, essentially. It's dressed in white, has what looks like a cross hanging on it, has what looks like the Virgin Mary of Guadalupe or something like that dangling from her. And the description, I haven't read it, but this doll's name is Dawn. The last one was Vivian. This one's Dawn. And it looks very innocent, looks, something that you would just have sitting around the house, as decoration or whatever.
Its face is very expressive.
It looks sad.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad for it. I probably didn't ask it to be haunted.
So the poster did not claim where she found this, but this is what she says is the evidence behind, or the story behind Dawn. So it says, Dawn is a highly dangerous and highly active spirit doll. She belongs to a psychic from the 1960s. This doll has been involved in many paranormal events and is believed to be the sole reason for a very tragic house fire. Her head moves from side to side on its own, and you can hear her demonically laughing whenever you turn your back.
Cool.
Animals cower from her, and she fills the room with putrid, filthy smells. She is hypnotic and has managed to overcome many people who have been around her, making them unwell and angry. Even grown men have fallen to her powers. Buyer beware. You will get headaches, you will feel sick, and you will witness poltergeist activity, often at dangerous levels.
Buy me, please.
I really want to like actually physically see the doll though.
I don't want to own it though, just because it smells apparently.
Yeah, I don't want to own it because I'm not one for bad smells, but I would love to have like a couple days around it and like see it in action.
This one sounds a lot more aggressive than
the first
one.
Yeah, and I'm reading some of the comments, and people are like, I don't know, I'm not getting any bad vibes from it. It looks more sad and misunderstood than anything. She just wants to be loved. Give her a hug. Some people are like, I don't believe the description. She looks like she's hurting. So yeah, a lot of people just think that she's sad,
Because she looks sad.
She does look sad.
She looks like a puppy. A sad puppy.
But nobody's like really creeped out by this one. One person even put, poor thing, there's a child impish spirit attached to the third doll. But if she's shown any kindness or even be loved, but by the right people, she's okay. Take caution, because I really see an evilness from her as well. So, but yeah, it's just, oh god.
So let's go ahead and say that each one of these dolls that we just talked about is totally 100% haunted. So yeah, that's an idea.
Sorry, the skeptic in me laughs, but
I know.
God.
Yeah, I don't believe in it, but at the same time, it'd be cool if they were kind of.
I laugh out of fear. Sorry,
but like I was saying, let's hypothetically say every single one of these dolls is haunted.
I'm okay to say that there's activity. Yes, okay. I'm okay to say that.
But if we were to believe each one of these stories, and this, let's say we have total evidence that ghosts are real, apparently. What do you think would be the logic behind a doll being haunted?
For me, I would say it dips into a bit of human psychology and the idea of spirits that attach to items in general, as a physical tether.
Mm.
Dolls are often what we give to children, as toys to comfort them, to play with, to make a friend, quote unquote, just to have something, some sort of sense of companionship. And I know there are people who get so incredibly attached to these things. And it looking like a human, really adds to that level of attachment from us as our psychology evolves when we grow up, being a child to, a young kid to a teenager, stuff, yada, yada, yada. So I think it's just the bonds that we as, people make with them in our association as kids is the reason why Haunted Dolls itself is so unique, when you think of haunted items or places.
You've actually made a point. I don't think you realise this, but when you think of haunted dolls, we so often think of humans. I mean, I've seen the whole haunted toy car video before, where it moves and beeps and stuff, but it's always humans. It's never animals,
right? Most of the time, whenever you'll ever hear of like a ghost dog or even a ghost cat story, like you hear in an occasional story, it's a fully manifested spirit, but it's not like an intelligent spirit, which is the type of classification. It's often very simple. It's it doesn't really do anything. Typically it doesn't attack anybody. But they aren't known to like possess anything that we would identify or be able to call out and be like, yeah, that's a dog, haunting this.
Yeah.
It's because I get attached to dolls. I have my oldest toy with me. It's the same age as me. It's 20 years old at this point. And I can get attached to being this thing has not left my side since I was born.
Okay, I think everybody has something like that. We all have an item or a toy or something that kind of follows us around everywhere. Whether it came from our childhood or it came recently, it could be a keychain, it could be I don't know, a pair of shoes. But we like to attach
whatever
ourselves.
you assign that attachment to.
Yeah, we like to attach ourselves to items or inanimate objects, and we just bring it around everywhere. And if we were to lose it, I mean, it would hurt because we built an attachment to it.
Yeah.
I've got a necklace that I stopped wearing as well. Like that thing has got a ring for my 18th, and the necklace is like a gift from somebody who I used to care about a lot. So it's like those just don't leave me.
Yeah. And by the way, so I believe there's a difference between a ghost and a demon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, demons definitely have malicious intent. So I'm gonna name out each one of these dolls or multiple dolls. Doll. Yeah. All right. There we go. I'm gonna name out each one of these, and I want you guys to tell me whether you think it's a demon or a ghost.
Okay.
So Island of Dolls, demon or ghost?
Ghost.
I'm gonna say ghost.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. It's definitely a ghost situation. It's a girl. A girl dies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
See, for when it comes to the legends behind the Island of the Dolls, for me it plays more if we come to the consensus and say spirits were involved. For me, what drives kind of the need to appease the spirit from Dawn more comes from a sense of duty and psychology and Catholicism and stuff like that, more than the spirit drove him to go mad and stuff.
Yeah, there's a very spiritual element to the Island of the Dolls, considering that Don himself was a religious man.
Yes.
So I'm with you guys.
Yeah, I'd say it's ghost.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one, let's talk about Robert. Is that a spirit or a demon?
It feels almost demonic.
This is where the terminology really becomes important to me. Because ghost, I think person, apparition, I think person. When we say spirit, that to me is more broad. It can be an entity that's like demonic. It could be an entity that was once a person.
That should have been a little more specific. Ghost. Yeah.
So, I say that because I wouldn't necessarily think it's a demon. I would say it is a spirit.
But he acts like a prick.
Yeah, it's a prick. He's definitely a prick. But no, like I said, I think he's a spirit for sure. I wouldn't go so far to say devil or demon. Because he comes from voodoo lore apparently.
Yeah.
And they deal with all kinds of good and bad spirits. So to say if it's one or the other, I don't feel confident to say that.
So should we add a third one? It's like ghost, demons, or
I
spirit.
I wouldn't say we need to, but for Robert, definitely a little asterisk.
All right, all right.
Yeah, I'd say acts more demonic is definitely not a ghost because it seems a little bit more of a
Aggressive.
than a ghost.
So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think I'm kind of with you guys. You swayed me. All right. Now for our next one, Fritz. Fritz. Yep.
Mr. Fritz.
I feel
Mr.
like a
Fritz.
ghost.
I think tragically it is a ghost.
Yeah.
I think it's Billy.
Yeah.
And that just it just makes it sad to think about it like that.
Yeah, prisoner of war gets
It
murdered.
feels almost symbolic that he's almost trying to escape this sort of coffin that the doll has been put in.
Or trying to bring joy. He still wants happiness. I don't know. I just know it's sad to think about it, and it's terrifying to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. But probably ghost. I was kind of thinking about it being a demon, but it makes more sense for it to be a ghost, just because of the angle of well, the fact that Billy died. And
Yeah.
It doesn't
I
feel
mean,
evil personally. It doesn't feel evil.
Yeah, nobody's like claiming that they're like getting scratched or beaten or they have horrible nightmares or they can't eat. You know, it did say that, a filthy stench was coming off of it. No, I'm sorry.
You're thinking of
I'm
the. I was thinking.
sorry. I'm like trying not to think about it.
It's good. I'm not the only one. All right.
So I was like, wait a sec. But no, but like there's no poltergeist activity. There's nothing that's necessarily being thrown around
Just
across the room. It's just his box.
His box is opening.
Yeah, and the doll head itself is moving. That's it. A couple orbs that you'll see here and there, but like I said, there's it's not like dishes are being thrown around. It's not like chairs are being pulled or dropped or anything.
Yeah.
If you wish for a happier spin on it. No, but if you wish for a happier spin on it, it's almost like he's opening up the door as well, going, "I am here. Watch me."
Right. So
Yeah,
Either
makes
or.
sense.
either or, but yeah, I am not okay with that one. I'm sorry. As sad as it is terrifying even more.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we are not coming back to this.
I'm glad
I'm glad we are done with this.
I refuse to cover this topic again. Not just because it's a pain in the ass to actually study for it because of all the multiple different tales and stories and videos
Yeah.
with circles and arrows. I guess we should talk about Vivian and baby doll, whatever.
Yeah, Vivian and Dawn.
Yeah, there we go. Dawn.
Yeah, Dawn, she doesn't strike me necessarily as even being possessed. I just think it's someone, trying to bring some creepy lore to it. But then again,
If it was
I-
possessed,
yeah, because like I said, these were just pictures that I found. Nobody has any footage,
yeah.
so that would definitely be more to sway my opinion on anything. But Vivian, just I don't know, the way that story was, written, the authorship behind it really sells it to me more.
Yeah, I would say Vivian is more convincing, just the story alone.
Yeah.
But Vivian does kind of sound like it would be possibly a ghost, or maybe a friendly spirit.
Yeah.
Casper the friendly ghost in a doll.
Or like you said, it could be an animal situation. But I don't know. I want to think it's friendly. Then if the baby story or Dawn, if Dawn was true, kind of sounds like a demon.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If not just a very angry ghost.
Yeah, or poltergeist kind of situation.
Yeah. But it's really fascinating. I will say I enjoyed talking about this topic a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Just as a discussion piece alone, it's so cool. I mean, dolls are creepy. I can't.
Dolls are creepy. Yes.
don't
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for the first story about a haunted robot.
I know.
Have you guys seen that? I can't remember what it's called. I think it's on Frank the Robot, and it looks like a Furby almost, and it responds to toys and responds to if it can like something or dislike something, and it knows how to pat buttons and stuff.
Right.
I don't know. We'll look that up in our own time because we're nearing the end here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, honestly, I know we were kind of afraid that this might be one of our lesser performed episodes, but I think my freak out kind of sank.
That one,
I
Oh
apologize for
god,
laughing. I apologize for laughing.
you know that we got an actual genuine reaction out of me like that, but at the same time, it's like I don't ever want to cover this again. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I am good. Oh god, that one really got me, and I was so surprised. It caught me off guard.
I really did enjoy just covering. I like the more free form, I guess,
Yeah.
angle that we sort of took on
Well,
this.
well, yeah, and our episodes are always going to kind of be in flux between more of a heavily researched episode or more, discussion based episode.
Yeah.
They're always going to kind of fluctuate between that.
By the way, I'm pretty sure I was wrong about the dolls not moving at the island of the dolls.
Well, that's the legends behind it, but from my own, history looking it up, I didn't see any like verified proof.
I mean, I saw a video that a YouTuber took, I don't know how long ago this was, where they did, like, I think it was an EVP or something in the middle of a room full of the dolls on the island of the dolls. It was pretty creepy to watch.
Yeah. Well, again, remember, most of the places and most of the footage that you got there, you can easily assume that they're from the tourist attraction, not the legitimate island.
Yeah.
But I imagine though.
Well, like I said, because some of those you're not going to really get to know for sure where they're from, so you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt. So and that's just what I consider a healthy approach. Don't just accept it outright without the appropriate information and credit behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, very much why I giggle at you being creeped out and stuff is because I like the idea of it, but I don't believe in half of it. So I find I watch it more for the amusing aspects of, oh, it's cool. Okay, next video.
The problem is like I try to be more of a skeptic, but I've had enough instances in my life that make me question things.
Yeah.
So when I see that, my mind immediately goes to, but what if? And then that's it for me, and I'm done. I'm done because my mind's like, you know what? No, it's real, and if you get near it, it's going to get you, and get away from it. And just, it's definitely an irrational fear. It's an irrational phobia. I get it. Doesn't make it any less scary.
I can understand that. When I was younger, I think a 13-year-old me was like, yes, let's binge horror. Don't know why. I was really dumb at 13 years old. And it was, my thing was the shadow people. The shadow people are going to get you. And I hated that thought.
Oh God, shadow people. That's a whole other rabbit hole. That it's not as bad as dolls, but there are certain stories that send a chill up my spine for sure.
Yeah. I think it told those 3 stories in a nice order.
Yeah.
It kind of escalated a bit in content.
Wow.
But no, this has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we got to do this. Even if, like I said, I wasn't sure about this one.
Well, you also don't host as often,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You just need a bit more practice, but that's all right. This was a really, really nice recording session. I am happy myself.
This was fun.
I overall I'm grateful for the topic, for the individual topics and how we covered it. Because, like I said, Mr. Fritz was a surprise I didn't expect you to pull out on me. I'd never heard of him before, and that was terrifying. And you really got me with that one.
Yeah.
I don't want to get like that again. I'm good. But no, you got a genuine freak out for me. Which is it's rare because outside of this, my family, everyone else can tell you, I don't normally react like that. I don't normally get bothered or upset by something like that.
That footage is
it's so unsettling to watch.
Everybody has to watch. Well, not everybody. You know what? If
you know what? No, because I'm going to put the link to it anyways. Go watch it and see it for yourself.
Yeah,
definitely.
I wonder how many people will be like me and be like, "Oh, cool."
They're probably going to be more like you. You're like, oh, like it's cool, it's creepy because they know how to detach themselves and not be, legitimately freaked out. I see that. Well, okay, I'm going to open up a little bit about something. So whenever I went to church, whenever I was a lot younger and stuff, I was part of a youth group that, went around to, little kids' places and disability centers and stuff like that. And we put on puppet shows. And I did that for about 2 years. And I never wanted to be around another puppet again. That is, where it's not like anything major happened, but just being around these things,
The uncanny nature.
it just yes, and being able to see it from both sides, being part of the audience and being one of the people who interact with it. For most people it's fine, but for me, I was still only like 12, 11, 12, at the time. So
I'm guessing these things weren't like Jim Henson puppets. We were talking about like.
I mean, a little closer. Think, God, what's the puppet? It's like Randy, that purple puppet. I can't think of the ventriloquist right now.
Is that Jeff Dunham?
No, it's not Jeff Dunham. No, it's.
I'll think of Peanut.
Yeah, you're thinking of Peanut. But he was on America's Got Talent and stuff, and he was a really good comedian. I can't remember the dude's name right now, but it's more of a stripped down version, simpler puppets, foam, felt, and all that.
Okay.
But no, it's just being around those things. It just was really unsettling to me. It was really creepy. It gave me a weird thought process that this thing was living vicariously through me, and that was unsettling. That idea was uncomfortable.
Have you heard of Hello Puppets, the horror game?
Yes, I have. Isn't that the VR game?
It's a VR game. Basically, the idea is to get a puppet attached to your hand, like physically sewn onto your hand.
Something goes wrong, and you got to do this, that, and the other. Yeah, I think I want to play it, which is why I haven't looked into it too much, because I like coming in with as little knowledge as possible.
It's so good. I recommend it.
Oh yeah, I've been hearing nothing but great things about it. So.
But no, I think part of the reason I'm not that fussed about puppets is I grew up with Punch and Judy. Do either of you know about Punch and Judy?
I know about Punch and Judy. But being in the States, we didn't grow up with it.
I don't know about
So basically, Punch and Judy is a very, very British puppet show you get like on piers and in carnivals and whatnot. So I grew up with these. I'll get an image up for you to see, Vlad. They're kind of creepy.
When you think of, marionette puppet shows that's Punch and Judy.
Oh, gotcha. Is this like a Thunderbirds kind of situation?
Oh, no. Far creepier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, I'm going to send you guys an image a second.
Oh, yeah, isn't Punch and Judy like centuries old?
Oh, yeah. It's traditional puppetry, basically. So, I mean, I've grown up, I remember one of the shows, it's just ridiculous kids humor, like, I'm flushing the baby down the toilet, and these horrible squeaky voices that are nasty. But I grew up on that, so my idea of puppets are these things. So, I'm really not that creeped out by puppets because of them. Like, if you guys check, they are quite nasty looking.
Yeah, they're really unsettling, yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Kids puppets, might I add. Kids puppets.
I'm kind of getting...
It reminds me of Mr. Blobby, that pink little mascot you guys got over there.
Oh yeah, Blobby isn't that bad. Blobby's not that bad at all.
I don't know what's worse. I don't know if it's the eyes, the nose, or the mouth.
For me, it's the red that they use to accentuate the features. That's like too much for me.
So those are two different versions of Punch and Judy that I've grown up with.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. All right.
So we'll definitely also upload these, to let people, see what what you grew up with and talking about and stuff like that. But no, this was a lot. I didn't think I'd actually, be drying my face right now. So my eyes were definitely watering a lot. This was a topic for sure.
Honestly, you guys are giving me nostalgia right now because again, this was my childhood, and now I need to watch Punch and Judy videos.
Well, I'm glad you're having a great time here. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So, but no, like, I really don't want to talk about dolls anymore.
Yeah, I really hope dolls. I really don't think dolls should have any teeth. That's another one. I know I know you don't want to talk about it, but they should not have teeth. Don't give a doll a pair of chompers.
Those dentist teddy bears with teeth in can piss right off.
Oh yeah, wasn't that like a dentist thing?
Oh yeah, teddy bears with real looking teeth are so no. I think that's where I draw the line.
Woman has, I think it started as an Etsy shop, but don't quote me on that. But this woman would say, collect your child's baby teeth
and put them into dolls. Yeah,
they will attach them to a doll. It was intentionally made to be horrifying, but it was meant to be over exaggerated to the point that it stops being horrifying and then starts looking cute in kind of disgusting way. And I actually, those don't bother me. Those are actually kind of fine. I actually kind of wanted one.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's meant to look disgusting on purpose, like disgustingly cute.
It works.
It does work, and I think they're really cool. I'll have to find links to it and stuff because
Yeah.
I don't know if she still does it anymore. But yeah.
But I guess to like wrap things up a little, like yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, wow, dolls are creepy.
Yeah, we're established.
Yeah, dolls are creepy. Dolls are also mysterious, and haunted dolls are a topic of debate because with anything supernatural, if we ever cover anything supernatural, I think one thing's always gonna like
Yeah, just take it always with a grain of salt. There's
Yeah.
no consensus, and with the nature behind the belief of the supernatural being so fluid, anyways, it's hard to have any concrete basis to say if something is or isn't, since it can't necessarily follow scientific, rhetoric or anything like that. So it really has to come down to the individual. So take everything with a grain of salt.
Yeah, of course.
But it's always worth looking into, in my opinion, to suspend your disbelief for a moment and just say, okay, if it happens, what else could happen. So that's my take on anything haunted and haunted dolls or whatnot.
One day I will buy a haunted dolls and we will see.
One day you're gonna buy a haunted doll and I'll never come and see you again.
I'll be on that episode. You don't have to come. I'm just saying, I'll record that episode. That sounds fun.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I really am. I'm not gonna sleep good tonight. I already know it.
Yep.
That's stuff of literal nightmares.
But anyways, thank you guys for listening to Files Obscura.
Yeah, it's definitely for everything that's been going on. It's been fun.
Yeah.
This episode.
It's been a great episode. I've enjoyed it immensely.
I'm glad.
Yeah, me too.
I can't wait for next week because we actually have another collab to do.
Heck yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. We're going to be collabing with Stephanie over from the Uncovered True Crime podcast. Yeah, I went ahead and did an episode with her about a week or two ago, and we're getting everything situated and organized so that way we can go ahead and bring her on, and we're going to talk about a very interesting case from Brazil, but I don't want to spoil what it is yet because it's one of my favorite kind of unsolved mysteries to talk about. Mm-hmm. Ones that really just make you ask, like, what?
Okay.
You got me curious.
Yeah. So don't want to leave any spoilers to anybody, but you're going to want to stick around for this next one. It's kind of an older case. It came from the 60s, 1966 in Brazil. But yeah, just the possibilities are endless. The theories are kind of out there. And it's a lot of evidence that just make you ask why.
Yeah.
Those are the stories I like.
I love that. I love that so much. I like that kind of thing. Yeah, I love those stories.
So, yeah, it'd be nice to have Stephanie on for that one because, like I said, originally she was supposed to be on our It's a Guy Family Murder episode, which she was unable to attend. Okay. But that was a good topic. She actually really enjoyed it. She reached out and and told us how much she liked the episode and can't wait to get to work with us. Yeah. So we
to actually meeting her.
Yeah. So I know I said originally I don't want to record while I'm out, but unfortunately that's what we're gonna have to do. Fridays when we're gonna have to record that episode in the middle of my vacation because I got 2 birthday parties to celebrate, plus my own.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, it's been fun, but we got to wrap up. We got things to do and places to be.
It's 1:30 in the morning for me. I should probably sleep.
Yeah. But, like we said, this has been a fun topic. We can't wait to see you guys next week. Follow us on all of our social media, on Instagram, Twitter, and even go check out our Facebook page. And be ready as we start our YouTube channel as we get that launched up and get ready to provide more content than just these episodes.
You could hopefully be seeing animations from me on the YouTube as and when I manage to start getting them done.
Yeah, or vlogs for me as I record my trips and everywhere else I go. So with everything going on, just be on the lookout for the next couple months, and we hope to see you guys as we grow. We hope you have a good week. You have a good day. We love you all.
All right, later.
Bye.